Welcome back to the third episode of the Football Betting Show. Firstly, we'll just take a quick recap of last week, see how we did, and then move on to a couple of games this week. So, last week was a bit of a tougher week than the first week. We were ever so close on hitting a few bets. 6 bets we put up, just the one winner, which was Fulham to beat Leicester at 4-5. We were 1 goal away from hitting the under in the United-Brighton game. Last minute winner for Brighton killed us. Should have stuck with opposing Man United there. And the over 2.5 both teams score in West Ham Palace was just 1 goal away. So we're close, but no cigar. I'll hold my hands up and say that the Wolves and the Villa predictions were wrong. However, Villa had plenty of chances to go 1, maybe 2-0 up against Arsenal, so I'd keep a lookout for that in the future. Maybe Arsenal aren't as solid defensively as we thought, but who knows. So yeah, it was 6 points put up, just the 1.8 returned. So it's minus 4.2 on the day. To put us to minus 5.6 for the 2 weeks combined. Moving on to this week, I'm going to look at a Saturday 3 o'clock game, Villa versus Leicester, and you can probably imagine where I'm going with that one. And then Sunday, we're going to look at the Chelsea versus Palace game. I've also got a small selection in the big derby at the weekend, the Man United Liverpool game. So starting off with the Saturday game that I'm going to look at, Aston Villa versus Leicester. As we kind of opposed Leicester last week, I'm going to do the same again here. I think Villa actually looked quite good against Arsenal last week. As I said, Watkins should have put them 2-0 up. Morgan Rogers looks a very good player in midfield. Onana, if he's fit, he's a very good player. They lost Cash, but I think their backup looks more than capable, Costa Nedeljkovic. And as soon as Ian Maatsen starts playing left back, I think they'll improve again. So yeah, I think Villa have got a very favourable next 4 games. I think they start that run off with a win here against Leicester. As I've mentioned before, Leicester are going to struggle. They've lost their best player. They've lost their manager. Yeah, they're playing at home here. That's going to be their only chance. But games like this aren't the games that they'll be looking to take points from. It's going to be the teams that are in the bottom half. So, I think Villa are a very good price. They're in like 8-11, which I think is kind of huge considering Villa are a solid top 4, top 5 team in my opinion. So, start the day off on Saturday. We're going to take Aston Villa to beat Leicester at 8-11. Second game we're going to look at is Chelsea versus Crystal Palace on Sunday. I think it's the first game. Chelsea kind of ruined my prediction of Wolves maybe repeating what they did last year and doing the double over them. Wolves maybe they're a bit off at the start of this season. I think they've lost a couple. Gary O'Neill's kind of struggling. I think they'll find their feet there. I think they're a good side. Don't think they'll struggle for too long. But they definitely need to find something soon. Chelsea, much improved from week 1 against City, but that's kind of as expected. Not many teams are going to look great against Man City, are they? But Chelsea really should be a lot better than they are. I mean, Palmer's brilliant, one of the best players in the league, maybe even in the world at the minute. He's so creative, he's so good, he's going to get them so many returns. I think he's up there with top 3, top 4 player in the league, to be honest. And he can create some out of nothing. So, I was surprised that they scored 6 and Madueke got a hat-trick, but when Palmer's playing and when he's playing like that, I'm not that surprised at all, really. So, Chelsea, I think they can kick on from that result and get another result here against Palace, who I've actually had a bet in for the first 2 weeks, kind of on the hill that Palace just aren't up to it much defensively this year. As I mentioned last week, I feel like they're the Brighton, they're the both teams score every week banker. They're going to concede a load of goals and hope to score a load. I'm not sure how that's going to go for them because if Mateta's not in the same form as he was last year, they're going to struggle. No Elise, only Eze. yeah, I think, and Palace, they're looking like they might sell Gehi, they may not. He's still undecided, and they've sold Anderson to Fulham. It's definitely going to struggle defensively. That's not what you want to hear when you're coming up against the strike force of Chelsea and Neto and Palmer, Madueke, etc., etc. So, yeah, I can see Chelsea kind of kicking on here. They're playing at home. I think they're a lovely price. I think they're like 3 to 5 best price. So that looks massive to me against a team that definitely aren't going to keep clean sheets, and I think Chelsea can kind of put a few past them and certainly win the game. So Chelsea on Sunday, the first game, to beat Crystal Palace at 3 to 5. And then the last game I'm going to take a look at is the Liverpool versus Man United game. This is the last game on Sunday, big derby, very excited for it, should be a great game. I'm quite confident that Liverpool are the better team. We start this season better. United are quite clearly struggling. They've brought in a few new faces. Whether that will make much of a difference, I'm not too sure. I do have a theory that you actually would prefer to play United after they win a game, since Ten Hag never changes his starting 11 from after they win. So, I mean, it must be an absolute delight to prepare for a team that you almost can bank on being the exact same 11 as last time. They did lose, so I'm expecting some changes. I think he'll bring in Delict to start. God knows about Ugarte, the new CDM that they've just signed. But we'll see about that. I think Liverpool were strong. Slot seems to have settled on a starting 11, and that kind of leads me on to the bet that I'm going to put up in this one. Slot seems to very much like the double pivot of McAllister and Gravenberch. And that's where my bet's going to come in this one. It's going to be Gravenberch to be carded at 10 to 3. Now, I was struggling between McAllister and Gravenberch in this one. I think they're both ripe for a card. However, I think Gravenberch has just been a little bit kind of more eager to impress, a bit keener recently. He's not a hothead, but he's definitely been asked to play the role of the disruptor, whereas McAllister's the kind of more technical player in that double pivot. So yeah, if I could see any of the two kind of putting in an early challenge, closing down a bit harder, putting in a bit of a rough one, I think it will be Gravenberch. And I think in a derby, what better kind of situation to announce yourself to the fans, the away fans, by kind of getting stuck into a few challenges. I never think he will. I think Gravenberch is he's not hiding from a challenge. He's more than happy to put his foot in. And we all know that Man United's pretty much only two decent players are Bruno and Kobe Minu, which kind of leads me to believe that most of their attacking is going to come through the middle. I don't think they're going to have much joy down the wings, in all honesty. Garnacho could cause some problems, but really not worried about Rashford or anyone like that. So yeah, if they're going to target Bruno and Kobe through the middle, then I'm more than happy to take Gravenberch to kind of play that more anchorman role, that more kind of disruptor role, and maybe get a card. He did get a card in his last game, so he can get a card from time to time. So yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if Gravenberch got another yellow card, and that's at 10 to 3. So they're the three selections for the Premier League. And then just to round the weekend off, I'm going to put up a 5-fold ACCA for EFL games. And we're going to start that off with Burnley to beat Blackburn in the 12:30 on Saturday in the Championship. We're also going to take Birmingham to beat Wigan. Birmingham playing at home, start the season quite well. Expect them and Burnley to do well this season. And then to round off the 5-fold, we're going to take Northampton to beat Burton. Burton conceded a lot of goals already to the start of the season. And the other League One game we're going to go for is Leyton Orient to beat Shrewsbury. Shrewsbury have had a poor start to the season, look like one of the worst teams in League One, so happy to be against them here. And then to round it off, we're going to take Colchester United, draw no bet, away at Accrington in League Two on Saturday at 3 o'clock. They're playing Accrington away, which shouldn't be an issue. Quite a big odds. I think they're 7-4 to win the game, so roughly around evens. Draw no bets seems like a solid play for me, and that fivefold is 23-1. So just gonna have a point on that. So just a quick recap. The bets are gonna be Aston Villa and Chelsea in a 2-point double, and that's roughly 1.7 or 1.8-1. So 2-point double on that. Gravenberch to be carded 10-3, 1 point. And finally, the third bet is going to be the fivefold EFL Aka. That is 23-1, just a point on that as well.